Who is Mothra? What is Mothra? Why does all the world fear Mothra? They found him.
Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your master of monstrous mayhem and your colossus of kaiju, and also the host of Zenrama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today we are talking about the 1961 classic science fiction monster movie fairy tale Mothra. It's really one of the best. But before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite Mothra movie is. Let me know if you like the 90s ones or their other appearances or even the US version. Bleh. And if you could, just watch a little longer than usual. This episode is dedicated to my friend Julie, who loves Mothra. And I really think she should get a Mothra tattoo. Let me know if you think she should. In the comments, of course. Having said all that, let's roll. So this will be the US dub. I know that the Japanese dub is about 10 minutes longer, more, or the Japanese, the original one, 101 minutes. The US version's about 90 minutes. I want to say, where is the, and I have, they do, you can see the alternate ending, but we're not really going to get too much into that because, it's really a good movie. Anyway, be that as it may, I was trying to see the release, marketing, theatrical. I'm just looking there. Tetra, 90 minutes. Yes, Three Stooges in Orbit, of all things. I do believe we have that movie in review. Anyway, so here are some of the credits. The Peanuts, Jelly Ito, that's Jerry Ito, whose autograph I do have and was just an incredibly gracious man. And just so like English language version, and of course they give you the Inoshiro Honda, which we know is just a transliteration error. The movie was released July 30th, 1961 in Japan, and of course, like I said, runs 101 minutes. I want to see theatrical was May 10th, 1962, so not quite a year later. And again, we'll go through some of the stars, but everyone knows these people. It's just wonderful. The music was done by where'd he go? Yoji Koseki. There we go. And it's quite different than the thunderous scores that you got from Akira Ifukube. But I really like it. It works really well for this movie because it's a different sort of movie altogether. So a ship gets shipwrecked in a storm near Infant Island. So subtitles have some interesting translations, but they're it's mostly dub titles because it is the English language version. There they are. They get picked up and they go back. Those are the survivors. They get taken to the National Synthesis Nucleus Center. This print is gorgeous. It is from a Blu-ray. Dr. Harada is our is Ken Uehara, and I believe that is Akihiko Hirata as Doctor, bit part. So they're having a press conference with the survivors, and they're in a radioactive place. And there is that's Kyoko Kagawa as Michi Hanamura, the photographer. And then, of course, Frankie Sakai as the bulldog. Zenichiro Fukada is our hero, ostensibly. The juice that protected them. Now they have to go out and figure out what's going. So the Rolisican government is supplying it. Now I have seen that it's a stand-in. The Rolisican is a combination of both Russia and America. I've got no proof of that, but and New Kirk City is supposed to be New York City. Chujo, that's him right there. That's our buddy. Wait, is Chujo? No, that is Hiroshi Koizumi. as Dr. Shinichi Chujo. That's who they're talking about, who hates having his picture taken, as we see. So Michi was not happy about that. But they go and visit him, and this has been released on DVD and I believe on Blu-ray in the US. Shinji has a mouse, and he hates having his pictures taken. So off he goes. But they're not going to let the Rilisicans don't. The government doesn't want press on there because they don't want to see what, as we'll see, Nelson is up to. There's Nelson, slimily played by Jerry Ito, and he's just really good. He was an expat over there. He was a singer. He's in The Manster, The Last War, and Go-Go 13, and Message from Space. I didn't realize that. Once again, just wonderful gentleman. There we go. Good luck. And then there he is, and then he disappears because he got on the boat. And now they're starting to dislike Nelson immensely, and he's so good at being dislikable person. And he's gone as a cabin boy or cabin man, I suppose. And he still he's supposed to, and they made him work. So, and he did it cheerfully. So there they go. And that is, let's see, Takashi Shimura there, who was, of course, well, I don't think that was him actually. But let's see, Ken Uehara, yes, that's Dr. Harada. And yeah, that's not Takeshi Shimura, who was, of course, the Dr. Yamane in the original Godzilla and Gigantus the Fire Monster. Great shot here. I just love the effects are wonderful overall. The dubbing by Peter Fernandez and his crew is amazing. It fits so well. I mean, they get the just because he's Bulldog's got doesn't know what to do with that, and he's just this. They had a real good. They must have had a great time making this movie because strange plants. They strangle. I thought for years these were the Sufan plants that showed up in Ultraman, but they're not. They're the Shobijin, small enchanting women, and they don't know what he's talking about. They think he's but old Nelson's got an idea. He's like, oh really? He's so slimy. He's not a joke. And then they find him, and they're nice, and they decide that they're okay, but Nelson grabs them, and then the Islanders show up, and they let him go. And they get returned, so they're still talking about Nelson. The cast, I can't get over how great this cast is. This is such a fun movie to watch because it's, it just doesn't try to beat you over the head with anything, but greed is bad, good. Mothra, and they don't know what Mothra means, which is amazing to think of because it's the title of the movie, guys. And Mothra has been around longer than I have and just been a part of my life for, well, a good long time, since I was 8, probably, a very young age. Nelson goes and grabs him. They just wipe out several natives. This guy calls on Mothra. There's that oversized egg. And this is the picture I have signed, and I was trying to find it. I need to scan it in for posterity. I may have it somewhere. There he is. That's Takashi Shimura right there, being an editor. The Secret Fairy Show. It's not very secret if you tell everyone about it now, is it? But look at the line. And he gets out there sleazily introducing the girls who are singing, and they don't realize why the girls are singing, but they're singing to Mothra. I don't know if they've stowed in or snuck in or not, but there's the egg. And he says the girls don't speak a word of Japanese, and they don't. I'm assuming that even in the rest of the movies, they do. And we hear them in Japanese or English, but it's because... But he agrees to let them go in and talk to them, make sure they're okay. They're in a tiny little cage with no bathroom. I wonder what he feeds them. Where do they get these clothes? They had to have them. They're in their native garb there, but they wear very attractive clothes. They're the Shobijin are very stylish, and they were really twin sisters. The Peanuts, they performed on Ed Sullivan, and I used to have a bunch of their songs, but I don't anymore. See, and there is the Shinichi. Does he have a Shinji? Yeah, Shinji, pardon me. Masamitsu Tayama. And then they tell him it's telepathy. They figure it out. So that's good. And they warn him Mothra's going to be there. Life eternal. Oh, I don't know if that's it. It's supposed to be a cross, but. And then it hatches. Just one larva. I kind of wish I'd have done these in chronological order, the Toho series, but I didn't. And it's not going to happen. Just the Godzilla ones. And they threaten him with libel, and they don't back down. They're not as scared of him, which is good. But they're warning him. And now we get some really nice shots about the Shobiji singing, and while Mothra is there, and then it rams, just destroys it, and I bet we're about to go to intermission. You are watching Xenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters on KXNO, part of the Xenorama Broadcasting Network. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program. Once again, these whiners are whining. And yep, we're licked. And then they get into a fight. So a fight breaks out, and Bulldog takes him on. Ow, ow, ow. And he headbutts him, and he beats up like 4 guys. Yeah, right there. Why didn't they just shoot him? But see, when I tell you the Peanuts or the Shobijin are stylish, look at that. They're not happy, though. You're a really good little actor. Well, they were good actresses. They were good actors. Telepathy. They're calling Mothra. They figured it out. Yep. And we see Mothra swimming in the ocean, and the government still backing Nelson. They're trying to drop bombs on it, and he's taking shots. They didn't find it. If you don't find a body, it's not dead. Every movie, television show, whatever, no body, it's not dead. A lot of times, even if there is a body, it's not dead. Cry and moan from now until doomsday. I mean, this is essentially the greed story here is played out in Godzilla versus the Thing, the sequel to this movie. But there is a sequel, and this movie actually has a direct sequel with Godzilla, one of the Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla movies of the 2000s. Tokyo SOS, that's it. Great damn destruction sequence. There's the baby. Bulldog rescues it because he's a hero. Look at him go. Again, the effects are just marvelous. Mothra was animated or brought to life by Nakajima-san. I got to play Godzilla in the forehead, and then like 10 more people behind it. That's how big that costume was. So it's an amazing creature. An amazing, the marionette's wonderful. The puppets are wonderful. So, yeah, I'm not going to say bad things about it. Just, some of the plot points here. The boss sure won't like it because the kid's loose with his dumb hat on. At least he's not wearing shorts, I suppose. And he gets into a fight, but he can't lick him, and they lick. So, and now the embassy's backing down because Mothra is on it. Everyone knows Mothra is on its way. Now, really, who wouldn't have demanded this? Even in 61, this guy has captured sentient beings and is holding them and making them perform. Sounds like slavery to me. So I just, they tell him to release the girls. And he's like, I'm not doing it. There's Shinji's hat. They just left him gagged and left him alone because who wants to take another kid that's going to eat him out of house and home probably. There's Mothra on the countryside finally attacking. So these are big sets because if you think that's, at least 10 people, that might be a smaller model there. But Mothra, this is, of course, the best Mothra looks, even though it's really hard to make the grub look bad. Yeah, I'm still bitter about the... I'll put in Godzilla versus the Thing as a... Byerly's. I just like keeping all this. Pontiac, Mobile Gas, all these English signs that just show up. So Mothra is in Japan right now because you can tell by the fighter pilots. Yeah, just plowing through things. This is one of the few solo monster movies. Well, one solo monster movie per monster is good. If Mothra couldn't have made a sequel, Mothra 2, without a enemy monster. Detour by the sea. Oh, they're trying to get away. Oh, there we got Tokyo Tower. And Mothra is building the cocoon. They're putting fire on it, and then it just starts building it. I can understand why Mothra and Spiga, anything that spins web comes out of their mouths, they're mutants, but it's better than Mothra and the spider spinning from their spinnerets, which are located in their abdomen, right? He's building a cocoon. And now he's George E. Walker, a special jet leaving for Rolisica. I still say Rosilica, but sound of Mothra spinning webs, dogs barking. An atomic heat gun, a precursor of the Markalites. Well, no, not the Markalites. The Maser cannons. Pardon me. The Markalites already been here. We will get to the Mysterians and battle in outer space, I promise. There they are. Definitely. The Markalite had an influence there, but also you can see where the Maser cannons would show up. So now they're going to burn it. Everyone's wearing goggles. And geez, great sequences here. Everyone's like, oh, we're happy. A real victory. A triumph of science. But they were blinded by science because they're all happy. And then Mothra appears. I mean, again, an astounding sequence. And this marionette is amazing. It's pretty fluffy and cute, though. I can see why Julie would like Mothra. I mean, it's a beautiful marionette. Heading east. 6OR planes. Don't be silly. And now it's attacked, which we don't really see. I mean, but the crowd turns on Nelson. He shoots him, and then he gets shot. But in the alternate sequence, he gets pushed over a cliff by Mothra herself. But I think this is a better one. He gets his just rewards, and they get the infants. They figure out how to, fix him, and we see all the, much like Rodan with the wind damage. Thousands dead, and there we go. That's a Diamond G-Man. That's Mark Jackson himself showing up there. He's not named in the movie. I think that's Mark Jackson before he goes on to battle Diamond Thieves and Dogora, which we were going to review. Religious significance. I don't know what a giant insect monster god could have, but 3:30. Oh, I just love these shots. A lovely mat scene. They say goodbye to the fairies. They want to come back. Oh, they're going to come back in about 3 years. Don't you worry. We don't ever see how they get on Mothra. And as Mark, yep, there he is right there on top of things, keeping an eye on stuff. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Sayonara. Mothra flies off. Michi remembers she forgot to take the pictures. This would never happen in Gappa. Native singing. There they are. Everyone's happy. And a Toho production filmed in Toho scope. The end. Oops. I thought I put something in there, and I did not. Unless it's after that. But I love this movie. I love it more every time I see it because it's just such an accomplishment, and it's so different than the Godzilla movies, and it's a great thing. Obviously, Gorgo has a very similar theme, and then of course Gappa did some 6 years later. But Gorgo happened about the same time, and was actually supposed to be filmed in Japan. You tell me.
Destroy all monsters. Massive armies versus mad monsters for possession of planet Earth. Destroy all monsters.
All right, my fellow agents. Tomorrow we wrap up the Super 6 with the last 4 episodes. And they do go out with a bang. It's quite enjoyable. But until then, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out. And remember, Mothra will come for you if you call to her. Be seeing you.
Meet the men from Super Service, facing danger just for kicks. Half a dozen super strong men, who are called the Super Six. Super Six, Super Six, battle criminals and all their evil games. Super Six, Super Six, evil doers dread them and their names. Down the fear of darkness, giving crime an uppercut. 5 great thunderbolts of power, and a bolt who is a nut. Super Six, Super Six, they give their all for